Adriana.
And I'm Jen.
And welcome to another exciting season of Two Moms in the Kitchen.
This season is sure to bring you some great new recipes, many tips and tricks for working in the kitchen, a whole lot of good conversation, and a great deal of fun.
We know that the world looks a little different now, but we hope that we can bring some joy and laughter into your home each episode.
We are so excited to be back.
Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be making a delicious meal, a healthy pad thai. Now, I'm just going to be very clear here that there is nothing traditional about this except maybe the noodles, and not even all the noodles because we're adding some healthy alternatives. But the point of this is to get just different flavors for your kids to kind of just get used to different things that aren't the same things over and over again.
Yes.
Extend their palate, etc., etc. So, we're going to get started. The first thing we're going to start with is the noodles. So the recipe calls for pad thai rice noodles. I do not pretend to be an expert on anything, but what we found was rice stick. Vermicelli?
Yes.
I don't know how to say it. Correct
Close
me, let me know. So it says, so we've got a pot boiling over here of water. It says to remove the pot from the water, take one package.
Pot from the burner. Pot from the water? How do you do that?
Just remove it. Spread it all over the floor. Holy Hannah, it's a day. It's a day! So remove the pot from the burner. Take one of these, there's 3 in the package, and just kind of open it up just a little bit. And you're going to put it in the hot water. Let's check the package if it has to be covered. Boop. It does not have to be covered. For 5 to 6 minutes. Oh, don't get any of them on the hot burner. There we go. Let's put it more over here. We're just kind of loosening them up a little bit. And then we're going to put it in here and set the timer for 5 minutes. Okay. While that, oh, it makes a mess.
Yes.
Just be aware, it makes a mess. While that is happening, we're going to prepare our alternative noodles, which are carrots and zucchini. Now, we did this already. We've shown you how to spiralize. So take your little spiralizer and go to. You can also, if you didn't get a chance to buy a spiralizer in the time that we had at that last cooking show, you can just cut them up really small into matchstick size. Should we do thick or thin? What are you thinking?
I'd say let's do a little thicker since we've got the thin noodles.
Okay, so
just for variety.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
All right, so we are gonna just. I'm gonna be here for a little bit.
Yep.
That's all right. And what's nice with the carrots, oh, this one has a crack, that's why.
Ah.
I was like, they're not coming out to like noodles, but it has a crack, so that's fine. Oh my gosh. Again, messes will be made. It's not a good meal unless you make a mess.
That's right.
It's just the way it is. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna take a minute. Oh, now we're starting to get some
There we go.
longer pieces. Past the crack.
Yep.
Just because a carrot or a vegetable is ugly doesn't mean it can't be used.
That's right.
Just keep going. Last time we did this with the spiralizer, I cut my finger pretty badly.
Oh no!
And it was right on the top knuckle. Don't do that.
No.
That hurts.
Safety first.
Safety first. So now I'm like extra careful.
Yes.
It took a long time to heal because you don't realize how much you use that little knuckle.
Yes.
And how painful it can be when reopened several times. So
And now with washing hands and sanitizer
and then
yes.
all that alcohol
Yes.
from the hand sanitizer. Oh my gosh, it was rough though for me.
I find paper cuts are the worst.
Oh, I know.
Because you don't know that they're there, like a lot of times, right? They're hidden, and then you put the alcohol sanitizer on, and it's like, ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yeah. My daughter has become an avid hand washer.
Yes.
Because she always has little cuts and stuff on her fingers, and it just really, really hurts her to do the hand sanitizer. So she always, every single time, I'll just wash my hands.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna just cut this little tip off of the zucchini. Go ahead and keep it in the same bowl as the carrots. See, this one we gotta cut it. You gotta make sure you don't get too long of noodles.
Yes. You don't want my endless
I'm
noodles.
not Jen. Jen goes rogue with the things.
You'll be slurping forever.
There we go. It's looking good.
I like the color contrast.
Oh, for sure. This is going to be a beautiful dish, for sure. And, you know, a lot of times we follow the recipe to the best of our ability. Sometimes you have to make substitutions. We're famous for our substitutions at this point. But if you find that you want to add red pepper to it or, you know, whatever the case may be, that's totally fine. You make it for your own family. If your family has a certain particular taste, go for it.
Absolutely.
No big deal. Okay, one more zucchini. I think I may have cut myself again. No,
Oh,
I didn't.
no.
Just a scratch. Just a scratch. Don't worry.
I'm gonna have to get you those steel gloves then.
Oh, Jen, don't tease me. Don't tease me. Oh my goodness.
Accident prone.
That's what it is. Just accept your fate and know what kind of a cook you are, so you can always be prepared.
That's right.
We have Band-Aids always at the ready in this kitchen. So, okay, one more minute for those pad thai noodles, if you will. And then, let's see. It says rinse with cold water to stop the cooking, and then you're just gonna set them aside. And we'll get going with some other things. Okay, this is looking good. I think we're about to the end. Yeah, I feel good about that. Okay, good. So, nice little pot of vegetables that are going to make themselves available as noodles. Oh, just look. Don't look at the floor when you're done. This is interesting. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is prepare our protein. This recipe originally called for tofu. My family doesn't particularly like tofu, so we decided to do it with chicken. You can use shrimp, you can use tofu, you could probably leave it out.
I was gonna say, yeah.
No, you don't need it.
No.
It's a very hearty dish, even with the protein out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just rinse it, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. So our noodles are done. Let's go ahead and grab them. They look nice and soft. So we're gonna put it in a colander. Very carefully, don't burn yourself. And then rinse it with cold water to stop the cooking. There we go. That looks good. And then we're just gonna set it aside. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Good. Okay, we'll just set it aside as we prepare everything else. Okay, so our protein, as we said, is gonna be chicken. So we're just going to cut it up and season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. Nothing too crazy, because the flavor is coming next with the sauce that we're gonna be making. So, Jen, I think you said this was like a pound of chicken?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a butcher's shop in Cambridge here that has ginormous
They do.
chicken breasts.
Yeah.
We call them dinosaur breasts because like they're huge. So that's one of these.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually a pound is about 1.5 chicken breasts. These ones are about 1 chicken breast.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't have to be exact.
No. And some families like more chicken. Like my husband is all about this type of protein.
Yes.
So he always needs more chicken.
Yeah.
He's always saying, give me more.
And there's nothing wrong with adding a bit more. It doesn't harm the recipe or anything like that, so
No.
go for it.
And if you're worried about it, just make a little bit more sauce.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm saucy. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, okay. So we're going to just cut this into little cubes. Would you get me a bowl?
Yes.
So I can throw these in there.
Absolutely.
And then when we're done cutting this up, we will season it with just a little bit of salt and pepper, as I said. And then we are going to throw it into a skillet and cook it all the way through. Now the recipe originally says for your protein to cook until, it says, hold on, sear protein until just cooked through. But when you have chicken, you just want to be a little extra careful. And if you are like we are, you have a temperature gauge in your. I have 2, or what are they called? The
Thermometers.
The
Yep.
thermometers. Yeah. I have 2.
Yes.
Because you need a different one for when you're cooking a turkey versus when you're just checking the stove temperature of your chicken. So so you want to just make sure that the chicken is cooked to about 165 degrees, and you will be all set to go. I've recently my husband really likes to make steak on a cast iron skillet. So we've been kind of researching, you know, kind of like the best ways to do it, and he thinks he is like the best at it. So, but you know, it's a learning process, right?
Absolutely.
So what we've learned is for a steak that you don't take it off the cast iron skillet at the temperature you want it cooked. You need it about 10 degrees less, and then let it rest. And it will come to temperature because it will continue cooking when you take it off.
Absolutely.
Because he was finding that he would take it off and then it would continue cooking.
Yes.
And it would get dry, and he was having a hard time with that. So cooking, you know, we always say like baking is the science, cooking you kind of do with it what you will.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need a little bit of science.
Yes, definitely.
So, all right, this is about done. This is a good amount. And then we'll have some other stuff in our pad thai. We're going to be doing eggs in there, a little bit of scrambled egg action. Okay, let's move over to the stove. We'll be right back. Start the chicken. So I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil just to make the pan not so sticky. Okay, and season just a little bit salt and pepper to our chicken. Just going to kind of move that around a little bit and season it as you will. The recipe says that the sauce is pretty salty, so you're just kind of giving this a nice base. And you know, my husband's family, they like the pepper, so we always do a little extra pepper just in case. Okay, and so then we're just going to move this over to a hot pan. Let's see, what are we going to use today? There we go. Okay, so you're just going to want to spread out the chicken a bit so we'll all cook. Now, I am terrible at moving the food while it's supposed to be cooking. I can't sit still. I think it all has to move, and I'm trying to make my ways better. So just let this chicken sit, let it cook a bit, and then move it. Let it do its thing. You're going to want a pretty big pan or skillet, or even wok if you wanted to, because you're going to be layering. So when we're done with the chicken, we're going to do the eggs, and then we're going to do the vegetables and everything. So you're layering and then taking it off and moving it to a plate, and then at the end you're putting everything together. So you just want to make sure you're not using 15 different pots. Just use one, and you'll be okay. All right, so we're going to let this cook for a few minutes, and we will be right back. Okay, so our chicken looks pretty good. As it was cooking, I noticed some of the pieces were a little bit bigger. So as it kind of cooked around, I would just cut them with my little spatula. Get them through. Make them as small or as big as you want. It gets to a point where you can't do that anymore. And we have reached that point. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to check our chicken just to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Safety first. So this is just a instant read digital thermometer. So just check one little guy right here. What you want to probably do is check the biggest one, because that will be the one that tells you if it's set. So we're almost there. We're at 153, 157. I'm thinking we are good to go. Yep, 165. Okay, actually 166.
Ooh, there we go.
So well done. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to take this off, put it all on a plate. There we go. And next we're going to scramble up some eggs. Alrighty. I'm not going to be super fancy with my eggs and like do them in a bowl and all the things. No, we're going right in, all the way.
Oh, you're a brave woman.
Look at this, look at this, look at this. Ready? Here we go. Because you are a busy person and you've got to get dinner on the table. Let's go. There we go. See, it's fine. And if a little bit is left on the pan, that's okay, because you're going to keep using the pan and the flavor is going to be there. No biggie. Okay. You just want to make sure you cook the eggs all the way through. Okay, looking good.
And the trick to scrambled eggs is to keep them moving.
Yep. I thought you were going to tell me something else. I was like, oh, tell me. Is there another trick? But no, I'm doing the trick.
I learned that actually from Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
He was showing how to make the perfect scrambled egg.
Oh, well, there you go.
And it's just keep it moving.
There you go. I am in the middle of Julia Child's Memoir.
Ooh.
of her time in France. And oh, it is so lovely to read. And it was written by her grandnephew, because she didn't have children, but her husband's brother did. And so they wanted to write something, and Julia Childs was an amazing letter writer. And her friends and her sister and all these people had kept letters that they had written back and forth. So with her grandnephew, they would sit down and they would have a pile of letters and usually be eating. And, they would read the letters and it would like spark a memory for her. And then she would tell the story. And so the whole book is based on these letters and these stories that they had. It's amazing. I love it so far. I'm about halfway through. So, okay, we're gonna take those eggs, put them in the same plate as the chicken. Okay, so according to the recipe, the next thing is we are going to saute garlic and carrots. We've already mixed our zucchini and our carrots together, so we're going rogue. We're gonna do it all. I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil just to make sure that we're not too sticky here. Alrighty.
You're such a rebel when it comes to cooking.
I know. So let's grab, oh, thank you, Jen. We've got our spiralized things. Here we go. Oh, wrong drawer. Let's get some garlic. So the recipe calls for 4 cloves of garlic. We don't do 4 cloves, people.
We use it as a suggestion.
Yes. Do a little bit more. All right, I think 3 heaping teaspoons.
Yes.
Will be just fine. Okay. Keep that moving. You don't want the garlic to burn, and then we put everything on top. There we go. Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm beyond. Okay. Look at that. So yeah, so our vegetables have taken over the pan. Clearly, this is going to be a good dish. And they will release some liquid in a minute and get smaller. There we go. Honestly, I could just eat this.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to make the sauce, and then that's
Yep.
delicious, delicious, delicious. Okay. I'm just trying to incorporate all of the garlic into the zoodles and the poodles. Okay. And it's also picking up all the egg and the chicken that was left behind too. So remember, Flavor Town in here. Okay, we're gonna let this cook for about 2 or 3 minutes. And in the meantime, let's make some sauce. Okay, so we're going to make the sauce for our healthy pad thai. So we're gonna start with 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now, it may seem like a lot. It might be a lot, but it makes it delicious too.
Well, and there's a lot of noodles that's got to
There is.
cover too. So
There is. Okay, so brown sugar is in. We need 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Again, might seem a little weird, but I make a delicious sweet and sour chicken. And you can also do it with shrimp. And the main ingredient is ketchup.
yeah,
So good. So simple. Okay, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Remember my discussion? China Lily. Okay, 2 of those. Okay. 2 tablespoons of fish sauce.
I like that everything is in tablespoon form.
Yes, one spoon.
Yep.
Oh, Jen, we're gonna be here for 10 years.
Oh dear.
Okay, it's okay.
Do you want me to pop the top off?
Now we got it. Okay, I got a rhythm.
Give it a good shake.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there's one. They don't know that we're making the sauce.
Yeah, really.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of that, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. This rice vinegar is a seasoned rice vinegar. You can also buy it unseasoned. I don't know what the difference is, but
Give this a stir.
alas, here we are. Perfect, okay. And then 1 tablespoon of lime juice. We're just using our little ready guide from the fridge, but you could use about 1 lime, the juice of 1 lime, if you will. You can also add some sriracha at this point if you wanted to. My kids are not big on spice. I'm trying to get them there.
Yeah.
They are fighting me. Ugh, it's terrible. Okay, so we're gonna whisk this together and move back over to the stove and continue building our pad thai. Let's see. Not bad, not bad. I'm excited for it to hit the heat and get the flavors in. Okay, let's move over to the stove. Building. So we have the vegetables in here with the garlic. The recipe says to push them off to the side and put a little bit of cooking spray. We've been using olive oil. We're gonna stick with olive oil. That's what I like to do. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, next we are going to add our noodles and half the sauce. Okay. Give it another quick little stir in here. Well, let's make sure. Let's see. Stir fry until the noodles have soaked up the sauce, about 3 or 4 minutes. So let's do it up. Oh, I'm not a very good measurer. That's why I use measuring cups. But that's okay. That's all right. We're gonna keep going with the flow. I think I might have to switch to a spatula or a tong. If you're using a nonstick pan, make sure you use a tong that does not have metal, because you'll scratch up your thing, your pan. Okay, just soaking up the sauce here. Let's move this over. Okay, it's looking good, looking good.
Smells delicious.
Yep, so this is gonna be here for about 3 or 4 minutes because you want the noodles to absorb the sauce. So once we've hit that point, we'll come back and we'll continue building. Okay, so our noodles have absorbed the sauce that they needed to. It's looking really good. See the nice color in there? Delicious. I have noticed that there seems to be like little, like the ends of the noodles maybe didn't get quite cooked enough. So I'm just taking those pieces out. They look a little bit hard. So if you see that, happened to us too. No big deal. I don't see any more though. Okay, so next up we add back our protein. So we've got the eggs and the chicken. All in. There we go. Okay. And then let's make sure with the recipe and the sauce. And now we're going to put everything together. So give that another shake. There we go. All right. And then just go. Oh, it's a little heavy.
All that goodness.
All of it. So good. Okay. So, and in full disclosure, I will tell you where I found this recipe. I follow this lady on Instagram who does a lot of Weight Watchers recipes. So this is technically a Weight Watchers recipe, but it's also a delicious recipe. So, and there's nothing weird in it, right? Like there's no like fake sugar or anything like that. It's mostly whole foods. I think the weirdest thing was probably the fish sauce. And just, you know, like I don't use a lot of fish sauce, so that was a new thing for me, you know, but really like whole ingredients, tons of vegetables. You cannot go wrong with this. Alrighty. Okay, let's see. So if you're finding that it's a little bit too dry, you can add a little bit of water. Just depends on your cooking temperature and how long you leave it on the stove. But if you are good to go, you are pretty much finished here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the noodles a little bit more out so that more, with every bite you get something of everything. Does that make sense? Something
Absolutely.
of everything?
Yep.
All right, this looks delicious.
It does.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Let us know in the comments if you've made it and what you think of it, any changes you would make to it, because maybe you like a little bit more soy sauce. Let us know if you add the heat to it, the sriracha, because I'm sure maybe we'll put a little bit, you know, on top when we eat it. Just for me and my husband, not for the kids so much. But don't forget to like this video and subscribe.